the pod. That's
What's
crazy.
going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of.
Numero uno of unnamed podcast because we don't have a title yet.
For now.
For now, for now. I think we had a couple titles going out there. I'm trying to look at our text messages. We had a couple going
Um,
out there.
I think we were playing
Um,
with Nerd Couch. I don't
I like
hate.
Nerd Couch.
I don't hate Nerd Out, but I'm sure that's taken. We'll have to look.
Yeah, yeah. I like
Um,
Nerd Out.
Nerd Out, Nerd Couch.
Total nerdity,
Ooh, that's good too. Two
like total
cousins.
nude, like total nudity, but nerd. You get it?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I like it.
All right, I just want to make sure you didn't laugh as much as I expected, so that's why I was expecting a little more.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, well, so welcome to the pod. Today we were just talking about how this is something we've wanted to do for a while. We used to talk. We're cousins, and we both love nerdy stuff, and we would love to
sure.
talk about it. And this is going to be the very unorganized episode, depending on what we keep in with the edit. But
Yeah.
just kind of going over what we want to talk about, and just talk about the things that interest us. And then we'll kind of. I feel like with this, Mike, I feel like we're just going to find our way as we go.
I think so too.
I don't expect the first episode to really even have one listener. So I say we
I
just
do.
have fun
Hey,
with it.
hey, you know what? I bet to have two listeners, and it's going to be my fiance and your girlfriend. And if they don't listen, there's going to be an issue.
I feel like that's exactly what's going to be. And maybe like our moms. I feel like my mom's going to start watching or listening and be like, I have
Yeah,
no idea what they're talking about. I don't care.
that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, let's do a little bit of an introduction of ourselves. So my
Yeah,
name's
sure.
Mike. I mean, I think our background is pretty much
Hi,
just.
Mike.
Hi, Mike. I've been here for 5 years, 5 years sober. No, but anyways, I think both of our background is just growing up loving nerdy stuff. We grew up watching Avatar and Marvel, obviously.
Yeah.
I know Marvel Comics was much more of a big thing for you than it was for me, but I still love the comics. Big Star Wars guy too, Disney as well. You got the Aloha Stitch
Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say
Uh,
he's a Disney expert for sure.
hey man, hey, I try. But yeah, that's me, Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Hi, Adam.
uh, So yeah, man, I just love nerdy stuff too. I am a stunt performer by trade and trying to break into the comic book stuff because that's the most fun stuff to do.
Mm.
I just love the idea of fandoms. I went to my first con last year and I just had so much fun. I love what a fandom can do, how it brings people together, and how in a piece of art, whether that's comic books or a TV show and whatnot, through other people's work, that we can kind of the way people resonate with it, and I love it, and I resonate with a bunch of cool stuff, and also stuff is just cool. Like Spider-Man, it's just awesome. You know, there's deep meanings behind Spider-Man, but it's just awesome. I say that because
That's crazy. That's
I
crazy
just
because I
saw
took a
this.
couple things. That's fire. That's fire. No, I took a couple notes that I just like stuff that I wanted to bring up,
Hmm.
just talking points, and Spider Man is one of those talking points.
So
So I
I
was
had
curious. I'm happy you brought that up.
I wasn't gonna tell you this, but I think now's a good time to tell you this. I did have a bit that I planned that every single episode I was gonna try to mention Spider-Man at least once.
Bro, you
I'm
folded
still
episode one within
I'm
the
still
first
no,
4 minutes.
I'm still gonna do it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Also, okay, good introduction. Very nice to meet you, Michael. Um, let's talk favorite fandoms. Yeah.
Favorite fandoms. Okay, that's good. What are the criterias here? Is this just like if I was sitting at home and I had to pick one to watch, or
Give
if
me top
I
three. Give me top
top
three.
three? Okay, top three.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm gonna take Star Wars. That's my OG. I've been watching that since I was 8 years old. I'm a ride or die Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll probably if at any point we ever have viewers, I'll get hate for that because I probably don't know as much as I should for being a ride or die Star Wars, but I love Star Wars.
You have time to study.
Um, sure, yeah, dude, that's what I've been doing this past week. When I'm not at rehearsal or work, I've been watching so much everything, bro. Um, Number two for me is gonna be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right on.
That's I mean that's kind of a no brainer. Number three's tough. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Number three, I'm gonna be basic. I'm gonna go with Marvel. I feel like I just picked the three most basic fandoms I could
Yeah,
choose.
but there's
They're solid.
they're up there for like they're popular for a reason. Those are some great
Exactly.
fandoms.
No, exactly.
All right, cool. So my top three, I think Avatar for sure is number one. I got the Avatar shirt on. I
Respect
don't
it.
know why I started resonating with Avatar so much. I watched it once through in high school, and I didn't even grow up on it, and I thought it was great.
You're
But I
making a
wasn't.
liar of me now. I just said you grew up with it.
I didn't grow up with it. I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people did, but I wasn't even the. I thought it was great, but I wasn't super. I wasn't a super fan until I rewatched it, and something about the rewatch is that show is so much better. Um, so yeah, I have this here. I'll show you. I have this awesome Avatar poster I got at MegaCon. I've actually been wanting to show you.
Did you go to MegaCon again this year?
Oh, what do you say?
Did you go to MegaCon again this year?
No, so I went last year. I want to make it a yearly thing. I couldn't go, so I had someone pick it up for me.
I know I wanted to go with you this year, and then calendars just didn't match up. Oh, that's sick. That's dope.
And I mean,
That's really dope.
it's not just
Yeah.
like well, it's like a actual. Like,
Is that
PVC.
this plate?
No, it's not this plate. It's not metal, but it is. It is pretty dense, pretty high quality.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so Avatar definitely number one, and I'm looking forward to unpacking that with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep it too basic, but Marvel. I mean, I
Hey.
did grow up on Marvel. I did grow up on Marvel. That is something ride or die Marvel fan for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, Marvel, and then, but I'd say there's levels to it. Like for me, my favorite Marvel superhero is Daredevil. I love the Daredevil comics, Daredevil show. So I'm gonna say specifically Daredevil, and then
I've been
Spider-Man.
appreciating Daredevil a lot more with the new Born Again series.
Are you caught up on the
Um,
new Born Again series?
So I'm an episode behind right now. I'm on episode
Same.
6. Yeah.
Same, me too.
I'm at like the tail end of 6.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Me too. We can talk
but-
about that.
Yeah, but what I'll say, I think that I think I told this to you previously. I think they're doing a really good job depicting like the fact that this isn't a superhero in the sense of he has superhuman strength. Like he has heightened awareness and and he's obviously got his sense of sound, I guess, and he can tell what's around him without being able to physically see.
Yeah.
But the fact that every episode I see this dude fighting and I'm like, he might not make it out of this fight. Like I just love that feeling.
Yeah, they did a
Um,
good job with that.
100%. I don't feel like we get that a lot with superheroes. So I'm really enjoying that so much so far a lot. But anyway, so you said 2 is Daredevil. Are we saying 3 is Spider-Man, or were you putting Daredevil and Spider-Man as 2 together?
I know that they're both Marvel, but I think for now we'll keep them separate.
Okay.
I will say for anyone that does listen, and as we gain listeners, they're gonna go on the journey with me. I'm not super into anime, but not because I don't like it. I just haven't gotten into it, and I'm going to. So I feel like in later episodes, we're gonna be able to kind of
We got to talk about that.
we're gonna
'Cause
go
you know I'm
through
big on
my
anime.
yeah. We're gonna go through my intro to anime. I mean, I love
Yeah.
Avatar. I don't really see Avatar as an anime. I think anime is Japanese animation, but it is
Sure.
anime style, and I have watched a anime before,
Sure.
so I'm excited to unpack that. But as far as fandoms, I can't think of anything specifically. I love Arcane. Arcane is super sweet, but I wouldn't
I
put myself
forgot
in
you
that.
watched that.
I did. I wouldn't put myself in that fandom just
Dude.
because I don't know anything about League of Legends, or I don't
Can
really
I
care.
can I take back my third one? Because like Arcane almost escaped my mind as a fandom. Because I look at that as like a video game first.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about Arcane, the show specifically, that's number 3 for me. 100%. I think Arcane is one of the most beautiful adaptations of something else, like a
Yeah.
video game made into a movie. And granted, we don't have a lot of great, movie adaptations. One that comes to mind was the Halo movie.
I
But
never
like,
saw it.
don't watch it. It's a waste of your time. Arcane, seriously, one of the best adaptations of a video game into any sort of like either TV show or movie.
There is something to be said about them hitting the mark on that because I feel like it is a theme that you see where everyone struggles to resonate with the movies of their favorite games. Like you see it with the Halo game I've heard about, or the Halo movie. I mean, you've
Sure.
seen it with what was it? Assassin's Creed. That movie kind
Yeah.
of flopped. and that's
I
a
didn't
game
even
that
see that.
that's a game that everybody loves.
Yeah.
The Minecraft movie did pretty well. I never saw it, but I mean,
I
honestly, I
heard
kind of want to put Minecraft on the fandom. I love Minecraft.
Minecraft's pretty fire. I actually heard with the Minecraft movie, it wasn't necessarily that it was like bad or good. There was a lot of fan service to like younger kids, which is fair. It's a game
Right.
made for the younger generation, so they play to their audience. But in terms of like me and you, we might have not had found as much joy in it as if we took our little cousin to go see it. You know what I mean?
Probably. Yeah. And Mario, I mean Mario killed it, but I also think that's a I don't know if it's a little bit different because it's not so much diving into gameplay, it's more diving into the
Sure.
story of Mario. Um,
Yeah,
by the way, did you watch the new Super Mario Galaxy
I
movie?
did. I was gonna ask you if you
I
watched
did.
it.
I did. We can talk about it. I,
Okay, all right. So let's wrap up this first topic real quick. So top three fandoms. Let's rank them real quick one more time. Number one for me is Star Wars. Number two for me is Avatar. Number three for me is going to be Arcane / League of Legends. Whatever you want to put that into.
okay. I mean, I think you
Yours.
can also throw Disney in as a broad category because I know you love your Disney.
Here's the thing, man. I I'm a Disney fan. I got another hat. I got hats on hats on hats for Disney. I love Disney. Big. I mean, I'll be down there in July. I'll be down there in October. I'll be down there
Nice.
again next January. I'm there, right? But when it comes to like fandoms, things that I involve myself with day to day and I quote often,
Yeah.
those are my three. 100% those are my three.
Nice. Okay, to recap, I didn't really have a solid list, so I'm gonna go top two, and then
Okay.
maybe by the end of the episode, we can clear our thoughts. I
Sure.
I apologize to anyone listening how all over the place this has been and will be, because it's not gonna get better
Yeah.
this
No,
episode.
it's not. It's
But if you're just down to have a conversation with us, thanks for being here. I'm gonna say Avatar and Marvel. Avatar and Marvel for now.
respect.
Yeah.
Respect it.
Um, so yeah, we can talk about Super Mario, and then I do have a pin in something I want to talk about Star Wars and Marvel.
Okay.
that have yeah.
Let's dive into this Super Mario movie. So did you see both of them? Did you see Super Mario Bros.
I
And
did.
Super Mario Galaxy?
I did.
Okay. Let's start with the first one. Initial takes. I love the movie. I
Yeah,
think it was a
same.
great movie. I think the callbacks were good. I thought it was a funny film. I genuinely enjoyed watching the film.
Yeah.
That all in all, I didn't really have too much negative to say about it, unless we're getting like real nitty gritty, and we're gonna be like, well, actually, like no, like it was just a good movie. I liked it. I
Well,
enjoyed it.
this is a nerd podcast. I think we have the permission to do that.
Fair. I'm gonna do it more for the second movie though, so I'll let you say your take on the first one.
Well, okay. My initial thoughts on the first movie is things that they did really good of. I think they did a really good job of. You said callbacks, but like playing to that nostalgia. Because
Yeah.
the cool thing about Mario is whether you're 50 or whether you're 5, Mario has done such a good job of having different games or franchises or
110%.
so everybody connects to this. And I think the movie did a really good job of having something for everybody. Like obviously it's a kids movie. There's a lot of bright colors on the screen, which is
Yeah.
great.
I mean, hey, I'm
Visually,
autistic.
it
I
was
like
great,
bright
too.
colors.
Me too. And that's honestly when me and Christy left the movie theater for the new one, she was like,
Yeah.
"What do you think?" I was like, "It's just a lot of bright colors on the screen." It's the first thing I said.
The Bowser Planet or Planet Bowser.
Yeah.
Just colors. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, so Chris Pratt as Mario, I think a lot of people didn't really know if that would play well, and were like, "Huh,
Yeah.
like what's going on?" And I thought it was a really good choice because I think obviously like everyone knows like the like wahoo, like that's how Mario talks, but we
Yeah.
don't actually see Mario talk in a lot of games.
Yeah, very rarely. Yeah.
Right. So like now we have a voice to put to Mario, and it's Chris Pratt. Now a lot of times I hear him and I'm like, this is Star Lord, but I thought that was a good take too. Those are my thoughts on the first movie. I don't want to get too into that. I want to talk about the new one, but it
Yeah.
was very good.
Okay. So now let's get into the second one. I get a lot of opinions because I don't know if you remember from growing up, I loved Super Mario Galaxy. Like
I
loved
do
that
remember.
game.
I also loved it. I played it on the Wii.
So the first and the second one, or I guess you could say four biggest games growing up: Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Epic Mickey Power of Two. Right? Those were my You know what's up.
I
Those
know.
were my games. Now,
Those
I
were those
actually
were our games. We played a
those were
lot of
our
those
games. We
games
played those
together.
together.
Yeah.
So here's my big things, and I wrote some of them down when I was thinking about the pod. I was like, I need to put these notes down so I remember all these when I'm going to talk about it. So here's the first thing. I feel like they hyped up Rosalina a ton in the movie.
Yeah.
She gets captured within the first 10 minutes, and is almost like
Not involved
not
in the
in
story
it.
at all.
She's like not a point of the movie.
Yeah.
Um, that was the first one.
Well,
After that,
for that point, I think that the film is a victim of its own. Like they tried to do so much in this movie. This movie could have been two movies with how much that they packed into it. So I feel like that's part of the
true.
reason for that take is they wanted to tell so many different storylines and show so many different things, which I think they did a great job of, but they had to sacrifice certain moments. So I do think it would have been better if they did a little bit less for that reason. But that's where I think that
So-
comes from.
so that kind of actually leads me to my second point of I feel like so we have Rosalina get captured, right?
Right.
The next 15 to 20 minutes I enjoyed, and then I felt like the plot got real messy and it didn't flow very well from that point on. I feel like we had a lot of chaos between jumping stories. I just wish that they did it differently. Like I'll take one of the Sonic movies. I haven't seen all of them. I didn't see the second one.
I haven't seen any of them, and I hear they're good.
So I saw the first and the third one. I enjoyed the first one. I haven't really heard much about the second one. I saw the third one. I really enjoyed the third one because I felt like they took time to make it a good movie while also caring about it being a Sonic adventure. Because yes, it's a movie about a video game, but it's a movie, right? So you can't just you got to make it a good movie. You have to make it a watchable piece of film still. I don't feel like they did that with this. I feel like the Star Fox being brought in was just really random. And
I thought that too, by the way, and I thought I was in a minority, so I'm so glad you said that. I don't hate the
No.
character. I thought it was really fun,
oh
actually.
yeah, yeah.
But I remember being like, if this is the only like we didn't even establish any other Super Smash Bros. People like that's
what
not
I'm
a
saying.
Mario character. He's not in Super Mario Galaxy. That's not a Mario character. But I know a lot of people love that. So I'm just glad you said that.
I like again. I'll agree with you on that. Cool character. I never played the games. I know him from Super Smash Bros. Obviously,
Right.
but like him getting thrown in there, and then Mr. Game & Watch didn't bug me as much because that's just Nintendo IP anyways, and it's kind of like whatever. But it almost felt like what are we doing? We
Yeah.
could have done so much. They're traveling the entire galaxy up until this part with the Lumas. Why can't we continue to travel with the Lumas? Why do we, or even like the other astronauts? Like we saw other astronauts that weren't well-known IP characters. So why did we bring Fox into this?
Yeah.
And it felt a little fan servicey.
But
Which-
but I also don't hate that. Like I'm not going to hold that
Sure.
against the film. I do feel I agree with you. I feel that, but like from my letterbox rating, that doesn't take away from it. I do think when you have all of the stuff that you're trying to fit into a movie, maybe don't add something from another
Yeah.
franchise.
Sure,
But also bright colors on a screen, for kids. But
sure.
I had a
All
great
in
time.
all, the movie was fun. For what
Super
it was, it was a fun movie. There's a lot of takeaways, but that's me being, a critic. I enjoyed the movie. There's loads of kids around me that were enjoying the movie. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
You can't hate it too much. I'm gonna touch on something slightly though. From like the topic of fan service, do you think nowadays films are going too much into like the fan service / nostalgia to try and sell tickets rather than just making good new content?
Yeah, so this is a common theme in the industry, and I think Martin Scorsese said this. I hope I'm not misquoting, but he said the problem with the industry is that it's art and it's a business. The problem with the
Yeah.
art is that it's a business. The problem with the business is that it's art. So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like you can't make a movie and not make money on it. So they are catering towards the money, and there are a lot of people that like us who value a good story and value a good movie, and there's a lot of people that have kids and are nostalgic about Mario. So there is a balance, and I do give
Yeah.
them grace for that. But I do think that yeah, that is definitely something that we see is how can we get people interested in this, but also uh, I'm interested in a good story. Then I think you could do that. Honestly, I didn't want to talk about this because of the taboo of breaking into a leaked film, but I'll just touch on it real
Oh,
quick.
oh,
I'll
yeah,
just touch on
yeah.
it very. I'll just touch on this very quickly. If you want to talk about nostalgia and fan service while having an amazing piece of art that does both and blends both perfectly, the new Avatar, The Last Airbender, the Avatar Aang movie does that flawlessly. There's a way to do
I,
that.
I'm gonna say too. We'll stop that conversation there because
We
I don't
will.
want to go too far into it until it's officially released.
Me too. Me too.
Obviously, as an Avatar fan, I hate the fact that the movie got leaked. I don't think that does anything positive for the genre. As an Avatar fan, I divulged. To be honest, I did. But we'll
Yeah,
stop the
me too.
topic there. We'll talk
Okay.
more about it
Yes.
in what September when it comes out officially.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree
but
with this. And I
but
didn't. I
I
probably
agree, I
shouldn't have
also agree
even
with your
brought it
take.
up.
It's
But
all
that's
right.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
it's all right because I do agree with you. Um, I think there's a good way to appeal to that fan service tickle in the back of everyone's brain and the
Yeah.
nostalgia without bending over and you know just
Yeah.
kind of giving it out for free.
But I also think Super Mario Galaxy didn't do a bad job of that. I think they did a great job. I think the
Mm.
Star Fox thing, I think that being in the posters and the trailer, that was 100% what that was. That didn't really drive the story forward. He was just kind of a character. Like he was there, but they wanted to maybe cater to like one more crowd
Yeah,
because so many people
yeah,
loved it, and then so many people I talked to were like, "I wish they didn't say anything," and he was just in there. I'm like, even that I think would have played a little bit better.
yeah.
Um, but I'll tell you, going do you have any more thoughts on the movie? I don't want to cut you off.
What about Super Mario Galaxy?
Yeah.
Let me see, let me refer to the notes. Give me a sec here. I don't think so. I think I got all them out. No, no, I was pretty. I got everything across. Yeah, yeah. I feel happy with what I said. I got
Yeah.
I
Those are
got
good
what I
points.
needed to off my chest.
Okay. Well, going on to my thoughts, there's just one thing that I have to say first that's not very important, but it's the first thing on my mind is
Yeah.
tell me if you heard this. When Bowser Jr. has his paintbrush and his music plays, is it not Spider-Man 2099 from Into the Spider-Verse?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't think I can think back to when I saw the
Cue the
film a couple
cue
weeks
cue the
ago.
clip, by the way, in post. Cue the clip. Cue
Boom, boom.
both. Play the Spider-Man 2099 theme and then play the like like the
You,
screeching.
you know, you know,
Here, I'll
this is
play
what I'm
it.
gonna do. I was gonna say, let me pull it up here,
I'll
and
pull
we'll
up the
we'll
Spider-Man one. You pull up the
okay,
Bowser Jr.
okay,
one.
okay. Bowser Jr. is when you first see him with the paintbrush.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look.
What does it say?
Junior. My father.
Nah, I don't think. Here, I'll hear. It's this.
Okay, yeah. So I know that that's the Spider-Man one,
Yes,
right?
something very similar played when Bowser Jr. had the paintbrush, like when he showed up in the movie.
Okay, I don't. You know what? I can't think of off the top of my head what that is, but we'll see if we can find those clips and we'll see if we can put it in next
Yeah.
to each
Okay.
other.
Yeah. Well, if
That's
not,
that's
listen for it if you're
yeah.
watching the movie, and you can comment if I'm right. I'm probably not, but I remember that's all I thought about in the movie theater.
Yeah. For like the next 30 minutes, you're like, where do, is that Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So,
All right. My second thought. So
mm,
everyone's gonna get to know this about me over the next couple episodes, but I am a huge animation fan.
mm,
Animation is my favorite thing to if I'm watching a show, I love animated shows. I love a lot of people are the other way. They feel like they can't get into it if it's animated, but I love animated movies and I love what you can do with them and visually how much freedom that the artists have to do what they do.
Yeah.
So for an example, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, the mix of animation styles, the 3D, the 2D. I love that so much. I can look at that movie with no audio all day long. Same with another movie we're not going to talk about, and this movie really hit the mark with that too. Like I loved looking at what I was looking. The color. So when you do a film, any scene has a color palette. A lot of people aren't paying attention to it, but subconsciously you kind of know. They did that very well. They had a very good mix of the color rules. I don't know what they were, but I remember looking at it and nothing felt out of place. And I could look at any frame in that movie for a long time. And I think that's what's really cool about animation. And I loved that about this movie. Like the scene where they went in the gambling room, that was such a fun scene to watch.
That was cool. That was a cool
Such
scene.
a fun scene to watch.
I will say, I really like the idea of the really diving into the fact that it is a video game world and the
Yeah.
multi like gravitational area of them battling, and then just like the additive of Toad randomly popping a penguin power up, and like
Yeah.
that whole scene.
It's
That whole
awesome.
scene was really fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you said that because I love the way they do power ups in this movie. I
do
love
too.
that like power ups are something that you can just collect. Like he just has a bag of power ups that like what might
At
help
the beginning
him.
of in the beginning of the movie when they're fighting Yoshi and they just bag opens and the firepower, that is
Yeah.
a really cool
Dude,
way to do it.
That right there alone was the biggest moment of nostalgia I think I had for the entire film because they didn't touch with the flower power in the first one, and
They didn't
me
really
and-
touch with any powers, it felt like, other than like the star power.
Yeah.
And like the concept of mushrooms and how, you know, they make you big, little, whatever. But the big one, the two biggest things about this movie that were big nostalgia for me that I enjoyed was was it the machine that Bowser Jr. uses to turn them into Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, and then
Yeah.
soon to be Baby Toad.
Very
That's
funny
really
scene.
funny.
that
and
scene
then-
that scene cracked me up so much.
That was so funny. That was
When
so
like
good.
you thought they were gonna like make the situation better, but then he like shot himself and made
just
him
makes it so much
himself
worse.
a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two. That's the one thing, and then the second thing, I really enjoyed like the discovery of Yoshi and how they show the firepower, because it does really feel like what's the word for this? They made it more than just something that was there. They made
Yeah.
it something that was like a tool that they use and that they have and they like consciously think about. Unlike in the games, obviously, it's just like, oh, what do I find? Cool, I'll use it. But
Yeah.
they made the effort to make it a thing, which I really liked.
Yeah, it's just that like that's their craft. They use their tool, and I love how they use the power ups. And for me, that was the most nostalgic because me and you, I remember we were big DS people. That was like our generation. When the DS came out, we were playing the Mario games on DS, and there was this game. It was Super Mario World. It wasn't just the normal levels. It was the one where like we could play. I think it was when the 3DS came out that we were playing this, and you could
Yeah.
jump through the paintings and go to all these different worlds and play mini games.
Gang, that is Super Mario. Are you talking about Super Mario 64 that was made originally on the N64?
I don't think so. I forget what it was called.
Paintings? That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, but that's in multiple Mario games, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. I remember that DSs were big on LAN, so when we were at OPA we would play with like 10 people, all these mini
Yeah.
games. And
Oh,
To the-
whoa. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was New Super Mario Bros, I think.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
know exactly. I
It
believe
had-
that was New Super Mario Bros.
One of the mini games was like there was a bunch of Yoshis and you had to find the Luigi. and,
Yep. Or like
So-
the bomber one where you only had to get black or you only had to get
Yes,
red. Yeah,
yes.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're talking about.
And we would all play together. That like some of my fondest video because that was like how I feel how video games should be played in a room
Sure.
of people, you know, almost like
Yeah.
a game. That was super fun. And
Yeah.
I felt a lot of that nostalgia for two reasons when I was watching this movie. One, the world where they kind of just everything was all over the place. That's how I felt playing those games. I was like, I could go
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
do whatever I want in this world of Mario. And I felt that when Princess Peach and Toad were walking around and going to the gambling room.
100%.
And two, the flower power. Like that for me was so great. And I laughed so hard at I think it was just me, but I laughed so hard at the blue mushroom effect because it was used to make Bowser a prisoner, and I remember hating the blue mushroom effect. I remember I was like, this is such a nerf. I used to avoid it. I used to like hit the box and it would come out, and I'm like running from it, and if it got me, I'm like, this sucks, dude.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that they used it to like nerf Bowser, because it's not it's not helpful in the game unless you need to go through a mini pipe, and I never liked it. So I thought it was very funny that they used it in that way.
That is funny. I honestly,
I think that was accidental fan service. I don't think they did that on purpose, but it was funny to me.
It's funny though, because I definitely didn't even think about it like that until you just said it. But not like when you're a kid, you're like, dude, I don't want to be small. This sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like, you have this one mushroom that makes you ginormous and stomp through the map,
it's
and then
fun.
you have this other one that makes you the size of a peanut, and you can go through a tiny pipe. Like, what are you picking as an 8-year-old kid?
It was also so much harder to like jump over enemies and stuff. Like I felt like it was such a nerf. So I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
The only gripe I have with them using the flower power and then meeting Yoshi, the only gripe, and I know I might be being too hard on this movie, is they get called in to fix some sort of problem. They build it up as a scary thing. They find Yoshi, and then they come out and they're like, we found Yoshi, and like Yoshi seems to know everybody, and I'm like, that didn't really seem like that big of a like. Nothing was clogged. There was weird noises coming.
Well, the one pipe was clogged though.
Was it?
That they have to, remember? So they walk in, and the pipe is clogged, and they start taking rocks out from the pipe, and that's where they hear the growling from again. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I could be wrong, but they start clearing the pipe away from it, and then they hear the growl again, and they're like, "Oh shoot, we got to get out of here." Then that's when they find Yoshi, and my hat here is okay. Sorry, I was just adjusting that, but yeah, so I think that they do, if I'm thinking of the part you're talking about and what happens correctly.
I might have missed that. Well, never mind. I retract my gripe. No, the movie did a really good job. I was really happy with it. The only other gripe is it just felt so cluttered. I didn't feel as involved in the story as I could have, but they fit a lot of stuff in there.
100%. And that's where I get my big things are from. It's not that I don't like the film. I feel like it could have been better. I feel like they could have decluttered it. They could have had a much better story flow. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see Rosalina in it just a bit more. Truly, I think that they had this big thing of it being a Super Mario Galaxy movie, and Rosalina is a big part of those games.
Well, also she was all over the trailer. Like she was in the trailer more than she was in the movie.
Yeah. I think who's the voice actor? Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah. I feel like we're throwing out these big names.
She was Peach. She was Princess.
Oh no, she's Peach. Who is Brie Larson? Was it Brie Larson that was Rosalina?
I actually don't know.
I think that's who it was. Yeah, I think it was Brie Larson was Rosalina, I want to say. But anyways, I feel like they throw out these big names and then they're just like, let's pay them a little less. Bring them into the studio to record a little less.
Yeah, well, I mean, they sold tickets and they put out a good product. To sing their praises one more time, this one was kind of fan service for the old heads out there, but Bowser Jr.'s security system being like the old school Mario levels,
that was cool.
Was perfect. Like that was
I loved that. I loved that.
And it was cutting in between the new animation and like
I think the way that they shifted from the 3D animation to the 2D pixel on the screen, that was fun. That was a good time.
It was very cool.
And when they get to the end, the bridge, where they knock Bowser into the lava before he turns into the
that was very that was very like what we know.
Yeah, 100%, 110%.
They did a good job with that movie. Overall, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, which is
8?
very very high for maybe 7.5.
8,
maybe 7.5.
8 is crazy.
You think too high?
I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah,
that's generous to me.
I might have been
7's generous.
I kind of want to be known for not being so generous. I want my movie wants to be done. I think on Letterboxd I gave it. I think on Letterboxd, because I rate every movie that I watch.
I gotta get set up with that. You told me about Letterboxd. I gotta get that set up.
I rate every movie I watched. I think on Letterboxd I gave it 3 stars
out of 5.
Out of 5. So actually that would translate to a 6. So I definitely did give it too much just now. I got excited.
You did. You know what? I think that's a better rating. Let's do out of 5.
Well, let me see what I did. I might have done 3.5. I might have done 3.5.
I think I like the out of 5. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. I think 7 was too generous. I take it back.
A two and
Two
a
and a
half
half
out of
stars.
five, so like halfway.
Two and a half.
It sounds
Between
bad, but
two and a
that
half and
is a
3.
good rating. That is a good
Out
rating.
of 5, it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
bad. I would probably give the first Super Mario like a 3.5. And I think that was slightly better than the second one, personally. That's my take, but
Super Mario Galaxy, I gave a
yeah,
3 stars. I gave 3 stars, so that's more than half.
sure.
I thought because my criteria is on a bunch of things: rewatchability, like fun. Did I have a good time? Did I leave like happy
Sure.
that I saw it? Yeah, of course
Sure.
I did. I thought it
Sure.
was a great movie. They did great stuff with it.
Yeah.
The 2 star
Yeah.
deduction is for the clutterness and the messiness of the storyline. But
I think
yeah.
that's fair. I think that's fair. All right, let's shift topics slightly. You said you wanted to put a pin on what we had started talking about with
Yes.
Marvel and Star Wars.
So
What are we starting with?
let's talk about the similarity in both of them, which is very cool fandoms, very cool lore, very cool canon, or like very cool subject matter.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I feel really bad for Star Wars fans, and now I feel really bad for myself as a Marvel fan with what they're doing to us and what they're putting out.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like especially Star Wars. I think Star Wars has. I just rode Rise of the Resistance yesterday for the first time, and it kind of got me
First
into Star-
time?
Yeah, well, I'm
Really?
I've never really been a Star Wars guy, but it kind of got
Lived
me
in
into Star Wars
Florida
a little
for
bit.
almost 2 years, and you're just riding it for the first time.
Just rode it for the first time.
Wow. Wow.
They did a great job with that ride, but
Sure.
it kind of got me into Star Wars a little bit. Like the concept of Star Wars is so cool, and I would be into it more if I wasn't growing up with Marvel, and I think that was like my hyper fixation.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I've always thought, as of recently, like as a Star Wars fan, it just sucks because they're not putting out quality stuff. They're not.
Not
They're
at all.
not doing you guys any favors. And then that started happening to Marvel, and I have a theory as to why a part of that is the way it is. And it's
Sure.
when Disney Plus came out. I feel like Disney, who now has control over both those entities, felt like they needed to put out a bunch of stuff to make people subscribe for this because Disney Plus was a risk. And
Yep.
they start pumping out Marvel show, Marvel show, Marvel show. And Marvel at this point was right around Endgame, was at the peak of I think its career, and it had this prestige to it where if there was a Marvel show coming out, that was kind of new and people were super into it. And WandaVision, dude, I remember every week I was like antsy to watch WandaVision.
I actually really
And then-
enjoyed WandaVision. I thought that was a good show.
Yeah, and then the same thing with Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like for me, if it was a Marvel production, it's gonna be good. I'm gonna watch it. And then
Yeah.
they just started putting out more stuff than they could care about. So it became quantity over quality. And now like they gave us garbage like She-Hulk, and then there's so much stuff now. And then they got into the canon issue of like you need to watch all these shows. The movies were great, but when they did it with the shows, it really messed a lot of things up. And now a lot of Marvel fans are kind of shifted away from caring about the movies as much because of what they did with the shows. I think the same thing happened to Star Wars.
110%. Because we had, obviously, I'm a big fan of episodes 1 through 3. I'm a big fan of episodes 4 through 6. I think the first 6 episodes great, fantastic.
Yeah.
I know some people aren't the biggest fan of some aspects of episodes 1, 2, and 3, the prequels. I do think they're good. I think it has some of the best lightsaber choreography we see outside of the animated series. But then we get to episodes 7, 8, and 9, and it just feels like they're throwing mud at a wall and hoping it sticks. Genuinely. It feels like they just kind of didn't care about any of the previous lore. They just were making stuff up just for the sake of making it up. And they were just doing stuff that wasn't like it. Fans didn't want it. We just didn't. That's not what we wanted.
Dude, I've said so many times, if you give any fan that's genuinely a fan of Star Wars the budget and whatever to make a Star Wars thing or to like even have a say in it, it would be so much better.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
when you're only focused about, there's a fandom that will watch these movies because they're so loyal to that fandom. It doesn't really matter as long as we just put a movie out. It's a disservice to the fans. You know what I mean? Like when you ignore lore, when you ignore canon, like that's what brings people in. People like to be wrapped up in another world. You can't just start having continuity errors with your world because you're pushing movies out. Or to me,
100%, 110%. And I think I think we kind of see that not as much with Marvel, but that's how I started feeling when they started bringing in the multiverse.
The multiverse
That's
wrecked it, dude.
exactly how I felt because you have instances now where like Iron Man, Tony Stark dies in Avengers
Yeah.
Endgame. Fantastic way to get rid of a character, or not get rid of, but send
A
off a
10-year
character. And
arc, yeah, a 10-year arc of a
same
character.
with Captain America.
Yeah.
Him going back in time and deciding, I missed this life. I'm not missing this opportunity again. And
Mhm.
spending his life with Peggy. Fantastic. But now he's coming back as Captain America, supposedly. That's what that's what we all see in the
Well,
trailers
that's what
and
it
stuff.
says, yeah.
And granted, that could be a gotcha. We want your tickets, and he's in it for 5 minutes in a flashback, right? Like,
I don't know. I think
I don't know. But we also have instances where we're bringing back the actor Robert Downey Jr. to be a new character.
Yeah.
It feels very unoriginal. It feels like they can't write anything better, and so this is what they're relying on.
100%. And on that note, one, I think after Endgame, it's so hard when you tie 10 to 15 years of all of the fandom's life together like that, and it's beautiful,
Sure.
and everybody loved Endgame, man.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
hard to move on from that. I get it. I get
Yeah.
that. So the multiverse seems like the next best natural step, especially because it's all over the comics. It's a huge part of the comics. However, it does the way they used it. There is a way to use the multiverse. Like Into the Spider-Verse is a great movie that uses the multiverse beautifully. The way
I think that is a good stage for it though, because it's animated.
yeah.
And it can be a little larger than life. And you can bring in, like, we'll take for example the fact, right, it's Spider-Man. You can bring in 72 different Spider-Mans, and there's 72 good versions of Spider-Man that you can draw from that are interesting.
Yeah.
How many different Penny Parkers
It's
are there?
because Spider-Man is the greatest character ever written, and you can't go wrong with any version of
He
Spider-Man.
is pretty good. He is pretty good.
It's amazing. He's amazing.
I will agree with that. I have another topic I want to bring up later, but we'll touch on that after we're done talking about this. But yeah, I feel like it's cheap writing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's been glimpses of hope, and then the rest of it is despair.
It takes away our connection to characters too when we know that they could come back. It takes away their sacrifice. And the thing is, like, we watch Tony Stark sacrifice on screen, and that means something to us because we know
Yeah.
we're not going to see Tony Stark anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that means it takes all of it away. I mean, I know that Tony Stark becomes Doom in the new one, and I'm still going to watch the movie. I still feel like I
Yeah,
owe
but
that
that's
to
so
my
cheap.
younger self.
That's so cheap.
It is. I'm watching it begrudgingly, to be honest with you, and I don't want to
Sure.
be like that in a fandom that I once. You know how like it was. I'm very grateful for what that was. Like my parents used to take me out of school to go watch the new Marvel movies. Now it's hard. It's hard when you don't care anymore, and you don't. And it's not like we don't care anymore on my own terms. I don't care anymore because of what they did to it, and I hope that you don't have that with Star Wars. But if you do, I get it because they're doing.
I do really, because here's the thing. So when Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was announced, that was like, oh my gosh, new Star Wars sequel, new Star Wars trilogy.
Chef's kiss, bro. The trailer was
Truly,
amazing.
no, really, it looks like an amazing film.
Yeah.
And then you go and see it, and you're just like, all right, it's something,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then they get movies like Rogue One. Have you seen Rogue One?
No, well, I started it and I really
Oh.
liked it, and everyone
Oh.
told me Rogue One was amazing.
It is one of the best Star Wars movies made ever, in my opinion. I think it is
Yeah.
one of the most well done Star Wars movies. But you get movies like Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, and then you also get movies like Solo. Solo had so much potential that was thrown away. It was
That's
thrown
another
away.
rough thing to see, man.
It sucks. It does, and
Yeah,
kind of what can you do about it? You know what I mean?
right. Earlier, you mentioned the prequels, the prequel trilogy,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
having the best lightsaber choreo, and I think that's
100%.
something that the Star Wars community loves. But for me, I mean, I'm in the stunt community. I know a lot of stunt people that have made short films,
Yeah.
just fan films, and for me, like the Darth Maul fan film, I don't know if you have seen it. Look it up; it's amazing. When you
Okay.
have fan films or fan fights 10 times better than the movies, this is a problem. You know what I
Very
mean?
big issue.
The
It's a
things
big
that cut
issue.
it in the 80s don't cut it now.
Mhm.
Like people want realistic action, and you
Yeah.
need to let the people that are good at that do that. And nothing against the stunt teams that worked on the new movies or whatever. I know that the shows have had great responses to their stuff, but
Mhm.
even when I watch scenes from the prequel movies, I still feel like I'm seeing better online, and I don't think that that's okay.
So this is what I'll say. I think when it comes to the movies, specifically the first 6 movies, there's a lot of lore involved in the combat you see between the Jedi's in terms of like the actual forms of lightsaber combat that they're doing, right? Um,
Yeah, which I can respect.
not
I
gonna
like
not
I
gonna
like the
totally not gonna
storytelling.
totally nerd out this episode. That'll be a different topic for a later episode. There is multiple forms, obviously. Kind of think of it as like martial art forms,
Mhm.
and each of the forms kind of hone in on a different specific skill. Um, and I feel like they do a really, really good job of showing that in the first 3, even honestly, the first 6 movies, because just the forms they use, although it's an older movie and the stunts aren't like all extravagant, backflipping, all that, still
Yeah.
looks cool. Um, in episodes 7, 8, and 9, I literally want to slam my head into my wall every time I see those fight scenes. I just don't think they're cool. I don't think they're
No.
good. Some of them have moments where I'm like, oh, that was sick, but the overarching combat and like even little things like I understand lead characters often have plot armor and oftentimes win stuff they shouldn't because they're the main character. But the big thing with like being a Jedi is it takes years to focus and learn and master the Force.
Yeah.
So when you see characters like Rey pick up a lightsaber for the first time, or Finn pick up a lightsaber for the first time and hold their own against Kylo Ren, who has been training since birth basically to be a Jedi, and then later became a Sith Lord, obviously. But they're training since they're a wee little lad, and then this nobody that picks up a lightsaber comes in and holds their own. That's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't do it for me. Or like even there's so much. There's so much. The lack of following the lore and the canon of the whole entire universe. I think this with Marvel too.
Yeah.
The corners they'll cut and the stuff they'll just forget about simply to fit it into a script and be like, okay, yeah, that's good enough for us. It bugs me big time.
It bugs me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think with Marvel too, I they're the movies that we loved growing up were heavily inspired by the comic books, but there's so many different comic book runs of different characters, so many different stories
Sure.
told that the
Sure.
the MCU did a really good job of making it its own thing, taking inspiration but making it its own story.
Mhm.
They ran out of stuff, you know what I mean? And just to bring it back to that was just a quick thought I had, but back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
The way you're just talking about, like you have passion and you're coming at it from a point of how I watch things and how, quite frankly, a lot of people do. Like that's how nerds watch things because that's what's important
Yeah.
to us. I don't think that they're thinking like that, and it seems so easy to us. Like how are they? It's like when we're both from Cleveland. When I watch the Browns management destroy our team, I'm like, I could do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the same
yeah.
thing watching the stuff we love, but it is really frustrating when you have people that don't necessarily care about a fandom. They just are there to make money for their company
100%.
at the head of the studio. You know, it's
There's
just,
also
it's frustrating.
there's a lot to be said about like having pride for something. Like I'll use Superman as an example. As Cleveland locals,
Yeah.
although we're more Marvel, I have a lot of pride in things that come from Cleveland.
Me too.
Like I really do.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not as big a DC, I've gotten a lot more into DC. I actually think DC's doing a lot of good
too.
stuff.
I would
recently.
actually love, and next episode, I would love to dive into
I would as well.
James Gunn in DC.
I would as well. But I think as someone, you just have to take pride in what you're doing. You need to be there for something other than a paycheck.
Yeah.
And it feels like sadly that's what a lot of these directors and writers are doing now.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn, while we're on
Yeah,
the
I was
brief
gonna
topic,
say,
I
saying
think
his
he's
for-
a
like,
great
for hope.
exception of that. I
Yeah.
think he's a great exception to that because he's not doing stuff for a paycheck. Sure, he's getting a lot of money,
He's making
but
money.
it feels like he has pride in what he's producing and he wants to leave something behind that's
Yeah.
a value that he puts his name on. And he's like, yeah, I did that.
100%. I could sing James Gunn's praises on that forever because one, he's a big comic book fan. If you are
Yeah.
follow him on Instagram, he's always talking about his love for comics and he wants to
Yeah.
stay true to those characters and tell a good story. But also, he's the most active person I know on social media. On Twitter, people will reach out to James Gunn, like random people will tag him, and he's responding to a lot of them
That's great. I love that. That's
about
great.
the movies, about his plans, because you can tell he cares about the fandom. He cares about what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I think the standard should be for
Yeah.
superhero films. Because when superhero films first started becoming popular, they were looked down on in the film industry. But then something happened where they started blowing up, and it's like, oh, there's a market for this, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it became a gimmick to a lot of companies that to try to make money. But
Yeah.
no, that should be the standard. Because there's some amazing comic book films out there that I think as films are just absolutely amazing, and it's because
Yeah.
I think films tell a story, and you have to prioritize storytelling. And then when it comes from a comic book, you have to prioritize the fans and telling a story that services that
100%. Now, while we're on the topic slightly of DC, have you seen the Clayface trailer?
I haven't. It looks terrifying.
You have and or haven't?
I have it, and it
Yeah.
looks terrifying.
I'm so excited for that.
Me too.
Um,
I'm not a big horror guy, but I will
I'm not
watch
either. I'm not either. I'm okay. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of like jump scares and stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little bit of a wuss.
it. Me too.
I do like horror. Even
Yeah.
though I'm a wuss when it comes to jump scares, I do like my good share of horror in doses. What I'm excited about for this is they're leaning into the heavy body horror aspects of Clayface. I actually did a little bit of research into Clayface's origins when I saw the trailer. And I think, and we can talk more about this in a later episode because I still have one more topic I really want to touch on before we end this one. But I think that'll be a good conversation later on, and I think it's going to be a good film. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's James Gunn's behind the wheel, so I think it's going to be great. I don't.
Sure.
Is he directing? I don't know if he's directing that one.
I don't know.
Oh.
I got to look into the director for that one. But is there anything else on the topic of what we were just talking about? Anything else that comes to mind you want to say?
No. I just
Okay.
wrote down a bunch of stuff that we could talk about next week and
That's
throughout.
what I've been doing. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
And I'd love to talk. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're coming up on the hour mark, so why don't you bring us home with that last thing that you want to talk about?
Okay. This is just more so for fun. Figure end it off on a high note.
Yeah.
Best origin movie MCU.
Best origin movie. Ooh.
Now I'm gonna specify a little bit here. Characters that aren't included. We can't include Tom Holland's Spider-Man
Okay.
because that's not an origin story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's not.
I agree. Homecoming's origin.
It's not. He's established as Spider-Man.
Yeah, so think of that. So movies that are the beginning of that character, it is their first appearance in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
They are being established for the first time ever.
Do you know what? You just kind of opened a thought in my head where I think Marvel's best stuff is origin stories. And
I agree.
And I'm going to come back to this question. But if you watched Wonder Man,
Have I watched it?
yeah.
The TV show that they just released?
Yeah.
That's on my list. I haven't gotten to
Okay.
that yet.
Move it up on the list because I would love to
Okay.
talk about it in the next couple weeks. But
Sure.
here's what I love about Wonder Man. I love when it came out, I was like, I'm not watching another Disney Plus Marvel show. I'm not. And then I started
Sure.
hearing amazing things about it, and I'm like, still no. Then people that I really respect their opinion were like, watch it. You're following like a struggling actor, and like as someone in your industry, you'll appreciate it. So I ended up watching
Okay.
it. I watched it with Riley, and
Sure.
dude, Wonder Man is not a superhero show.
Really?
You're following this character who's a struggling actor, and you're kind of watching the story unfold and like a friendship develop. And I feel like you're watching a very grounded movie, and then and it's set in a really cool environment. It's set in LA in the MCU, and there's rules about having like you can't have superpowers and be an actor for insurance reasons. They explain that.
That's kind of fun.
And you're kind of following the struggling actor who is trying to hide his powers. And it's very, very cool. And at the very end of the show, you start to see him kind of become Wonder Man. And I think that's why it resonated so well, is because people didn't want another Marvel superhero show. They wanted a story where you get to know the character and watch them become the thing. So
Yeah.
your question just kind of sparked a thought where, for me, I love origin stories.
Hmm.
I love I love falling in love with this character's journey and watching something change them. Like Spider-Man has a great origin story.
Sure.
I think Marvel, the MCU did a good job with not going that route because they went that route twice before.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to get too off topic. I just wanted to say that watch
Yeah.
Wonder
Yeah.
Man
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we could
I
talk
will.
about it.
I will.
I think I'm gonna have to go Iron Man. I was gonna say First Avenger. I was gonna say Captain America because
America?
that's a
Okay.
great origin story. It is,
Yeah.
but I think Iron Man is not only an origin story for Iron Man. I think that film is kind of an origin story for the MCU, like what that film had
Okay.
to go through to be made. That kind of
Yeah.
how it was kind of a low budget and how it started everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of Robert Downey Jr.'s 180 in his career. I think everything about that movie is perfect as far as the MCU goes.
Fair.
I
Fair.
I love Iron Man, and I'm not even a
Okay.
big Iron Man fan, but I love that film.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think that's a good answer. I'll take that one.
Yeah. How about you?
Okay. So I have a really close tie. I'm gonna say what my number one is. I think it's got to be Guardians 1 for me,
Hmm.
which doesn't seem necessarily like an origin story. I
It's an
do
origin
kind
of
of
the
look at
group. It's an origin
exactly,
of the
and,
group
and
for
that's
sure,
and that's
yeah.
that's kind of my argument of it is you're bringing together Star Lord, Drax, Gamora, Groot, and Rocket. You're bringing them in
Misfits. You're bringing in their misfits.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the cool thing about it is it doesn't really feel like an origin story, but it definitely is. Like it
100%.
just 100% is.
I didn't even think
Um,
like that, but yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I think my close second, and I don't know if we are considering this MCU because it's technically Sony, TASM 1. I'm a big Andrew
I've
Garfield.
never seen the Tasm movies.
Bro, watch them. Watch them. I'm gonna get hate for this. TASM 2, probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. Top 3.
Really?
Easy. And that movie gets so much hate, but I
Yeah.
love TASM 2. I think that the way Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is portrayed is seriously slept on. I think people kind of forget about him because was the writing in his movies the greatest? No. Was it the worst? Definitely not. I think the way that he plays Spider-Man though is phenomenal. I think the way you see if you watch both TASM 1, TASM 2, I'm sorry, excuse me, and then what's the third one? No Way Home?
Wait, third one for what? For
Tom
Holland?
Holland's. Yeah.
Yeah, no way home.
So if you watch TASM 1, TASM 2, and No Way Home, it's like it's just insane the character growth this man does while not even being given a fair shot to have character growth as Spider-Man. Like his
But
Peter
wait,
Parker's
no way home is Tom Holland.
exactly, but he's
you're
in
saying
it.
'cause
But he's in it.
Yeah, because
And the way he like and that's something I feel like I can't really explain until you see TASM 1 and 2.
I'll watch him.
But if you watch them and then watch No Way Home and watch his character, it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. That's why that's definitely number 2 for me. I think TASM movies are slept on. I don't think the rating was amazing. I do think it was good still. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll appreciate the films 110%.
All right, cool. I'll put it on the homework list.
Yeah. Yeah, my homework list, Wonder Man. I'm putting that on there.
All right, Tasm 1 and 2.
Okay, that's
All right, we're almost perfectly at an hour. I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I would love to next week talk about. I would love to do a section called Hot Takes.
okay.
And right when we're about to end this podcast, I would like to throw a hot take out there and then not talk about it to let anyone who might be listening get really upset about it, and they're gonna have to come back
Okay.
because I have I think maybe the hottest take.
Okay, so here's the question. Are we going to talk about it at the beginning of next week's episode?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Let's say before you get this out cuz this might piss me off too.
It's going to probably.
Let's close this out. Thank you everyone for listening. Everyone that did. Our 4 people, 4 viewers.
Four is ambitious, but yes, thank you
Four is
to our 4
hey,
viewers.
we're ambitious people. We're ambitious people. Go ahead and let us know anything you want to see in coming episodes. Any thoughts, comments, suggestions, stuff like that. We're open to hear it. We'd love to hear feedback. Adam, take it away with the hot take.
Of course. Well, real quick, also thank you guys so much. We will definitely we're on this journey together. Thank you for dealing with our all over the place. We are trying to find our footing as we go. So definitely appreciate it, and look, you could look forward to that as well as we do.
Okay.
It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I'm gonna end it with, I think that the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies are hot trash. Have a good night, everybody.
And we will see everyone next week.